This is BBC Radio Guernsey. I'm Jenny Kendall-Tobias, and I've been looking up X Factor winners. Where are they now? Well, this next lady didn't win. But what happens during life after the X Factor? The very top places, first, second and third, we know they tend to carry on in the pop industry. But Kitty Brucknell finished 7th in the series in 2011. At the weekend, she came to Guernsey for a concert put on by the charity Liberate. BBC Radio Guernsey's very own showbiz star correspondent Ollie Gear asked Kitty whether it feels like a long time since her appearance on the show.
Yeah, it actually does, because I've done so much since then, so it definitely feels like a really long time.
And you were actually doing stuff before the X Factor as well, so X Factor isn't really what launched you. There was a lot behind the scenes and in the years previous.
Yeah, I'd done a lot of music, like I'd done a lot of like tours in different types of shows and stuff like that, but I'd never really being able to launch myself as my own artist. So yeah, no, it was definitely an experience. It gave me a really kind of like acute idea of how the music industry works. But then, afterwards I met lots and lots of wonderful, amazing people, and yeah, it's been really great.
You were one of the finalists, and you were mentored by Louis. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know how much of the process you kind of will remember, but what was Louis like?
Oh, no, Louis is really great. I actually still stay in touch with him. Like, every time, he does something on TV, I'll message him, and it's like, hey, watch that, it was really good. He actually was giving me advice on my album about a year ago when we were starting to sort it out. I was asking him all sorts of questions. But yeah, no, he's really good. I'm pretty sure that he would have preferred to mentor a boy band, but he got me, and that's cool, Yeah, he was really great.
And is that your Broadway album?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's my second album. So I like to work with projects. So I'm kind of like one of those kind of artists that like to sort of skip genres a little bit, skip around. And my first album was like really pop. It was just like me trying to find my feet in the industry, and I wrote all these songs. But now I just, I love Broadway. I love West End music. So I have a 13-track Broadway album, and we recorded at Abbey Road with like a big orchestra, and it's all live instruments. The whole thing has been recorded analog. It's the bane of my life. It's like, oh my God, why can't we just put this into a computer? But it is pretty awesome. And I've been like recording on tape. I've been recording, I don't know if there's any like music aficionados, but my producer has a really old like 1970s reverb plate, and there was only like 20,000 of them ever made, and there's only about 5 of them left in the world, and like my manager has one, and he's like, yeah, I've got this plate, and it's very geeky, it's very anoreky, but it's actually making that album sound really authentic. It's really real, and I can't wait to share it with everybody.
Everyone's just getting over the excitement, actually, of Les Mis being performed by Gadok here in Guernsey, and I went to see it. It was a phenomenal experience, and it's kind of made me want to watch a lot more kind of musicals on the West End. What songs feature in your album?
Oh my gosh. Well, actually I did one from Les Mis. I did I Dreamed a Dream. What we did is we picked songs that people like, but they haven't heard for a while. Of course, everyone's heard I Dreamed a Dream, but what I've done with those types of songs is completely either change them completely or strip them back and make them something fresh. I played a little with a melody on it. I stripped it back to just guitar and sort of like a harp. And there's Pure Imagination, which in the musical from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is actually really upbeat and happy, and we've slowed it right down to like this haunting ballad. And it's very sort of, avant-garde, and there's lots of strings. It sounds really 80s. I did the Trolley song, and that's from Meet Me in St. Louis with Judy Garland. It's really out of the park. It's, got every bell and whistle you could think of, like the whole orchestra times 2. So there's all sorts on there. I'm really excited about it.
Would you or have you performed on the West End?
I would love to perform in the West End. Sometimes the X Factor can be a little bit of a double-edged sword, because I'll get put up for auditions and then people will be like, oh, I really like you. And then they'll find out from X Factor and they call my agent and they say, oh, yeah, we really like it, but no, we just don't do X Factor. And I'm like, that's really tough to hear, because it's not something that I can get away from. It's not something that I can ever hide. Believe me, I've tried to. I've definitely had issues with that. I've had issues, sort of getting my foot in the door with, I would say, more serious parts of the industry because of where I came from. And I think that's really sad. It's like you have to really know someone in order to get a leg up. Even though there's been a lot of X Factor contestants who have done the West End, yeah, they've had a leg up in one way or another, and I'm just still waiting for my leg up with that. So we'll see. I'm really hopeful, and I'm just working really hard on my album, and I'm just going to see where it takes me.
Right, that's Kitty Brucknell from the X Factor. She was in Guernsey at the weekend to perform at Liberate's charity ball, the Exhibitionist Ball, which we're all going to next year, aren't we? It sounded wonderful when Ellie from Liberate was talking about it yesterday. Absolutely fantastic. You can just go dressed up as anything you've always wanted to go dressed up as. Well, that was the theme this year. I don't know what they're going to do next year, but I'm going to continue the theme myself next year anyway when I go to the Liberation Ball, and I'm going to persuade Ollie Guy to come with me.